Well, hello again, everyone. Myself, Utpal Shashanka Boro, a student of Lakhimpur College of Veterinary Science, shall be discussing today on the topic urine analysis in dog and cat, prepared by my colleagues Adarsh Bhattarai, Amit Kumar Singh, Vedanto Fukon, and Suresh Deori. Now, before we proceed further, this is a disclaimer that this presentation has been prepared to the best of the abilities of the undergrad students of Lakhimpur College of Veterinary Science to provide as much as accurate information as possible. We do not, however, encourage people to use this information provided in the presentation for any scientific work without any cross-verification of the data. Further, the information provided in the presentation should not be used for treatment without consulting a registered practitioner. It is strictly for educational purpose and not for commercial use. With that being said, let's move forward. Now, coming to introduction, considerably high amounts of toxic waste like excess nitrogen, phosphorus, and some other materials are produced during normal metabolism of the body, which need to be eliminated to prevent toxicity. The urinary system that comprises of a pair of kidneys, ureters, one urinary bladder, and one urethra aid in this venture. Apart from excretion of metabolic waste, the urinary system also maintains homeostasis of such diverse factors like water balance, pH, osmotic pressure, electrolyte levels, etc. So, it can be easily seen that if there is a severe dysfunction of the urinary system, there can be fatal consequences to the animal's health and performance. So, in order to determine if there is such a problem, we can perform urine analysis test. So, what is urine analysis? Urine analysis is the examination of normal and abnormal constituents of urine. It is an easy, cheap, and vital initial diagnostic test for veterinarians and comprises of physical examination such as color of urine, odor of urine, transparency, specific gravity of urine, and the volume of urine voided, chemical analysis such as urinary pH, protein estimation, glucose estimation, ketone body, bilirubin, and blood in urine, and microscopic examinations such as cell, microorganisms, crystals, and cast in urine, lipid droplets, and spermatozoa in urine. Coming on to significance of urine analysis. Urine analysis helps in providing evidence for urinary tract diseases. It helps to diagnose kidney dysfunction before renal failure happens, and by estimating glucose and ketone body concentration in it, it can help in detecting metabolic diseases such as ketosis and diabetes. Urine analysis is the clinical laboratory's third major diagnostic screening test, preceded only by serum or plasma chemical profile and complete blood count analysis. Coming on to sample collection, the precise interpretation of test result is only possible when the diagnostic laboratory provides prior information regarding the optimal patient preparation. So, the pet owner should be informed more specifically of the effect of possible biological interference such as dietary intake, diuretic drugs, exercise, and other interference that may alter the urine analysis results. Prior to sample collection, the vulva and adjacent skin should be cleansed thoroughly with water, sterile sponges, and disinfectants such as chlorhexidine in females, and in males, the prepucial area should be cleaned thoroughly to avoid infection and iatrogenic alterations in urine analysis result. Hair that may contaminate the collection process can be clipped if necessary. Coming on to time of collection, in addition to being critical, the time for collecting is seldom considered. However, the urine obtained early in the morning is better used to test tubular activity because urine is more likely to be stored in the bladder form overnight and has an acidic pH, which can prolong the breakdown of renal tubular cast. The processing of freshly produced urine is suggested for microbial culture and cellular morphology evaluation. The fastidious microorganisms may be recoverable from recently formed samples, and the morphology of cellular constituents may be distorted by prolongation of overnight urine exposure. Suspected conditions such as urinary tract infection and neoplasia can be diagnosed with air-dried smear, for which recently formed urine is a prerequisite. Coming on to collection methods, the three most common collection methods are the free catch, which involves hand gathering of urine sample directly from the pet's or animal's voluntary urination, and also it comprises of manual compression, in which manual urinary bladder compression is done. Apart from free catch, there is catheterization, where extracts urine sample straight from the urethra with the help of a catheter, and cytosynthesis, that requires the use of sterile needle and syringes to extract bladder urine. All of these three methods have advantages and disadvantages, such as in case of free catch method, advantage is there is normal voiding, so no risk and an unskilled person can collect it. In manual compression, it can be collected as per convenience. However, the disadvantage of free catch is that sample may be contaminated and it may cause traumatic injury to the urinary bladder upon manual compression, and the infected urine may pass to the urogenital organ and cannot be performed in patients immediately after a laparotomy or cystotomy surgery. In case of catheterization, the advantage is that the bladder does not need to be distended, and the disadvantage of catheterization is that skilled person is required and risk of trauma, iatrogenic infection may be there, and it may be contaminated by blood component, and it cannot be used in case there is urethral obstruction. In case of cytosynthesis, the advantage is that very low risk of iatrogenic infection and contaminants in case of cytosynthesis, but the disadvantage is that skilled person are required and sufficient amount of urine in the bladder needs to be there for collection, and it cannot be performed in animals that are diagnosed with coagulopathy, and in case of tear of bladder, abdomen may be contaminated with urine. Now, considering all the three, cytosynthesis is considered to be the most accurate and practical method, and cytosynthesis simplifies the interpretation of the result by eliminating the possibility of the urethra and genital system contamination. Coming on to sample handling and storage, it is strongly advised that urine sample be analyzed within 60 minutes of collection, as it is an unpredictably unstable biological fluid. However, if the urine cannot be analyzed within the first 60 minutes, then it should be refrigerated at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius in laboratory to slow down the rate of artifactual changes such as bacterial overgrowth, whether real or contaminant, change in the color of the urine, bilirubin, glucose and ketone concentration decrease, deterioration of cast and cell, increase in the odor, turbidity and pH of urine. These changes will be minimized by refrigeration of the urine sample up to approximately 6 hours. Several chemicals such as EDTA and formalin can also be used as urine preservative. However, comments from the referral laboratory should be considered for the use of this type of preservatives. Also, in case of preserving urine cell cast and crystals, they can be preserved by 4 to 5 drops of neutral buffered formalin per 10 ml of urine, but it is only applicable for urine submitted for unstained wet prep examination. Now, coming on to examination of the urine, a complete urine examination includes a macroscopic and microscopic examination of urine sample. A macroscopic examination is comparatively quick, cheap and easy to perform, and it includes a subjective assessment of the physical properties of urine such as color, odor, clarity and volume of urine voided, along with specific gravity reading. It also includes semi-quantitative assessment of the chemical properties of urine by using dipstick analysis. Now, coming on to physical examination, we first have to confirm whether the sample collected is indeed urine or not, and for that, a drop of urine is mixed with a drop of nitric acid on a slide and warmed gently. Hexagonal crystals can be observed microscopically in urine samples. Following evaporation, this mixture turns red upon addition of a drop of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide solution, giving a positive confirmation. Now, coming to color, The urine color is determined by observing the urine in a test tube against a white background under good light or a urinometer cylinder. Urochrome is a combination of urobilin and urobilinogen with peptide is reported to cause the coloration of urine. Increased urochrome excretion can occur in case of fever and starvation, leading to intense colored urine. Urine color is correlated with urine-specific gravity and fluid intake. The color of urine in a healthy dog and cat is usually transparent to light yellow or yellow to amber. Given here are the abnormal colors of urine and their possible suspected causes in a tabular form. As you can see, when the urine is colorless or light yellow, we can suspect a diluted urine, and when the color is dark yellow to yellow-orange, we can suspect concentrated urine, bilirubin or excess urobilin in the urine voided. Yellow-green to yellow-brown colored urine is seen in case of excess bilirubin or biliverdin in the urine voided. Brown to black colored urine is seen in case of methemoglobin and myoglobin bile pigments in the urine, and red to red-brown colored urine is seen in case of hematuria, hemoglobin urea, myoglobin urea and methemoglobin. Pink to brown colored urine is seen in case of clofazimine treatment commonly in case of cats, and rifampicin treatment, and milky white colored urine is voided in case of pyuria, lipiduria, phosphate crystals and sperm in male. Now given here is the figure of urine color chart indicating various colors of urine and their possible causes, such as dark yellow color can occur due to concentrated urine. Green color urine is seen in case of Pseudomonas infection. Yellow-green to yellow-brown color is seen if bilirubin is oxidized to biliverdin and is present in urine. Red color is seen due to presence of RBC, hemoglobin or myoglobin in urine. Brown-black color urine is seen in case of methemoglobin in urine or in alkaptonuria. Orange color urine is seen in case of rifampicin administration in treatment of TB, and cloudy urine occurs in various urinary tract infections such as pyelonephritis, which is a highly fatal pyogenic inflammation of renal pelvis and parenchyma, normally due to ascending infection with bacteria, and also in case of cystitis, which is the inflammation of wall of urinary bladder, commonly due to bacterial infection. Now, coming on to odor, the standard urine has a faint odor of ammonia. However, the odor depends upon the urine quantity. Some odors suggest urinary infection, like ammonia. The smell of ammonia is observed in urease producing bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus, Proteus species and Klebsiella species. Putrid protein odor is observed in case of gross hematuria and blood clots, and hydrogen sulfide smell is observed in urinary tract infection induced by Proteus species. Also, acetone odor may be noted in urine from animals with ketosis or ketoacidosis. However, the urine odor may not be considered pathognomonic for any specific disease. Coming on to clarity, transparency or turbidity, the turbidity can be assessed semi-quantitatively by clearly visualizing the background newsprint in a transparent container under good lighting from a well-mixed urine sample. Urine is usually clear. Semen, mucus, feces, and lipids can cause turbidity in normal urine. Increased number of cells, crystals, cast, or organisms may increase the urinary turbidity under disease conditions. As a result, a change in the temperature and pH of urine sample can also cause the increase or decrease in turbidity. Now, volume of urine voided depends upon the state of hydration and the kidney's ability to concentrate it, as it is inversely related to specific gravity. The normal cats produce around 18 to 28 ml per kg body weight per day, and dogs produce urine of around 20 to 100 ml per kg body weight per day, and kittens void urine around 5 to 60 ml of urine per kg body weight per day. Coming on to urinary specific gravity, the urinary specific gravity indicates the weight ratio of 1 liter solution to 1 liter water and provides valuable information on the kidney's ability to concentrate or dilute the urine. Now, the urinary specific gravity is measured by a refractometer. Refractometers designed for the species being examined and several forms are usable, including automated refractometers. A drop of urine is put under a plastic cover on the glass and held to a light source as an inspector stares through the eye, as shown in the figure. Now, feline urine is more refractive than human urine, so the feline urinary specific gravity is often overestimated by around 0.002 to 0.005 when human designed refractometers are used, while the refractive index of human and dogs are identical, so the error is minimum. Usually, the urinary specific gravity in healthy cat is around 1.001 to 1.085 and for dog is around 1.001 to 1.075. Now, the specific gravity increases in disease of urinary tract in which the plasma proteins and inflammatory products may appear in urine in large amounts. Disease in specific gravity. Decrease in the specific gravity may be an indication of several renal diseases like acute nephritis, severe renal amyloidosis, cortical hypoplasia, in chronic generalized pyelonephritis, and in case of renal diabetes insipidus. Coming on to interpretation of urinary specific gravity, it depends upon several factors like age, form of diet, sex, fasting status, avidity drinking, the form of refractometer used, and the dietary moisture content, and so on. Now, hyposthenuria is a condition where the urinary specific gravity is less than 1.007 and is seen in case of diluted urine, which suggests a low specific gravity than the plasma and the glomerular filtrate. Hypersthenuria, the urinary specific gravity is more than 1.012, indicates that the kidneys are capable of concentrating the glomerular filtrate to some degree. Isosthenuria, urinary specific gravity ranging from 1.008 to 1.012 suggests a plasma and glomerular filtrate specific gravity. A dehydrated animal with a healthy kidney excretes a small amount of highly concentrated urine, increasing the amount of urinary specific gravity. If the urinary specific gravity shows isosthenuria, that is ranging less than 1.030 in dog and less than 1.035 in a cat, a comprehensive history to assess the recent administration and assessment of the concentration of serum creatinine and urea nitrogen is given. The normal reference value may be misleading for urinary specific gravity as many variables contribute to it. Thus, the understanding of urinary specific gravity should be focused on the healthy state of the individual and the acknowledgement of variables considered to change in the specific gravity. Now, coming on to chemical examination of urine, urinary pH. The normal urinary pH range of dog and cat is 6 to 7.5. If a patient becomes sick, acid-base balance of the living system may influence the urinary pH. The urine pH demonstrates the hydrogen and bicarbonate control in the renal system. Various renal and extra-renal factors impact it. As shown here, the causes of acidic urine and alkaline urine are given, where acidic urine can be seen due to meat consumption, respiratory and metabolic acidosis, due to extreme vomiting and diarrhea, in case of nausea and pyrexia, in case of protein catabolic states, use of urinary acidifiers like ammonium chloride, ascorbic acid at high doses, citric acid and methionine. Alkaline urine can be seen due to consumption of cereal-rich diets, alkali ingestion like bicarbonate or citrate, in case of urease-producing bacteria infection like Staphylococcus aureus, Proteus species, Klebsiella species, due to metabolic and respiratory alkalosis, and use of drugs like acetazolamide, sodium bicarbonate, chlorothiazide, and potassium citrate. An accurate pH meter is needed to determine the pH correctly. Now coming on to protein estimation. A healthy animal will practically excrete no protein, but certainly less than the limit for regular urine protein detection. The glomerulus is freely permeable to water, solutes, but retains cells and most macromolecules such as albumin and globulin. The presence of protein contributes to cloudiness and precipitation at higher protein concentration. The total urine protein can be measured with the help of urine dipstick or chemical strips available for dogs and cats like VET10, Confirm Bioscience, and PetGia10 from Hygieia Touch Inc., One Step VET10 from the DFI company, and PetSticks from IDEX company. Apart from that, there is also sulfosalicylic acid test, SSA for short, and urine protein creatinine ratio. The proteins test strips primarily measures the albumin and is more specific to it than globulin. Results are often expressed as trace if it is less than 10 mg per dl of urine, 1 if it is 30 mg protein per dl of urine, 2 if it is 100 mg of protein per dl of urine. The test is often influenced by the pH of urine, and due to presence of coxin in feline urine, false positive reaction is very common, particularly in mature cats. A high number of false positive protein have also been reported using the urinary dipstick method in dogs and cats. And hence, the protein urinary dipstick is a sensitive but not very specific test. A negative reaction is usually reliable, making it a useful screening test. Now, the test strips in alkaline urine can indicate falsely high protein concentration, and hence a separate form such as sulfosalicylic acid test should be done to recheck the positive protein result with alkaline urine. As stated before, that the protein contributes to cloudiness and precipitation at higher protein concentration, the urine protein detected in the test strip pad is often considered in the light of urinary specific gravity because the concentration or dilution of any protein present is directly related to the concentration or dilution of the urine. And hence, the SSA test should be done to use to validate the protein found in the urine analysis due to its high specificity. The urine protein creatinine ratio, or UPC for short, has become the gold standard for proteinuria test and should be performed on any patient with a trace or higher urine dipstick or a positive SSA test. The UPC is less than 0.5 in healthy dogs. Values of over 1 are known to be abnormal. Values between 0.5 and 1 are uncertain and should be checked for continuity or degradation. Now, there are several causes of proteinuria in dogs and cats that can be classified as pre-renal, renal, and post-renal causes. Pre-renal causes of proteinuria can be hemoglobin from intravascular hemolysis, myoglobin from rhabdomyolysis, immunoglobulin light chain from multiple myeloma or lymphoma. Renal causes include strenuous exercise due to fever, seizure, extreme heat or cold, glomerular injury or dysfunction, renal tubular dysfunction, or due to interstitial nephritis, in which there is primary or secondary inflammation of renal interstitial tissues. Post-renal causes of proteinuria include urinary tract infection, urolithiasis, which is the presence of calculi in the urinary system, transitional cell carcinoma, and in case of vaginitis. Now coming on to glucose estimation in urine. Glucose may appear in the urine if glycemia surpasses the renal threshold or even if renal tubular reabsorption is reduced. Chemical strips detect glucose through an enzyme chemical reaction that leads to a color change proportional to the amount of glucose available. The outdated strip may give a false negative result. The urine temperature can affect the result, so refrigerated samples need to be brought at room temperature. Glucosuria usually develops when blood glucose level surpasses approximately 200 mg per dl in dog and 250 to 300 mg per dl in cats. Common causes of glucosuria are diabetes mellitus, stress, especially in cat, and renal dysfunction. Coming on to ketone estimation, ketones are usually produced at low levels that are undetectable in urine. Ketone monitoring options available include nitroprusside reagent test strips or chemical strips and beta-hydroxybutyrate ketone meter. Ketones are assessed in the chemical strip through the Legel reaction. This reaction relies on the urinary reaction of acetoacetate with nitroprusside in the presence of an alkali. A positive reaction is detected by a change in color ranging from lavender to dark purple. Acetone and acetoacetate can be detected in all nitroprusside reagent strips. However, they are much more sensitive when detecting acetoacetate than acetone, so most positive reactions result from acetoacetate rather than acetone. Several chemistry multiple test reagent strips are available like ChemStrip, DyeStix, Multistix, H-Stix. Ketonuria suggests a change from the metabolism of carbohydrates to fat. It is identified in small animals with ketosis secondary to diabetes mellitus, and hunger also leads to increase in ketone in urine. Coming on to bilirubin estimation, bilirubin is not usually present in the urine sample of most domestic animals except for dogs. Small amount of bilirubin can be detected in healthy dogs, especially in diluted urine. The bilirubin test strip pad detects bilirubin by chemical reaction, producing a color change that indicates the amount of bilirubin present. As bilirubin is degraded by ultraviolet light, samples of urine should not be directly exposed to the light. Coming on to estimation of blood in urine, the presence of either hematuria, presence of intact erythrocytes in urine, or hemoglobinuria, that is lysed erythrocytes in urine, can be shown to be positive for blood on urine dipstick or myoglobinuria caused by skeletal muscle damage. These causes can be distinguished by examination of the urine sediment and a patient's complete blood count and serum biochemical parameters. A blood test strip in the urine detects heme-containing compound through an enzymatic chemical process, which outcomes in a color change compared to the quantity of substance present. Coming on to microscopic examination of urine analysis, urine microscopy involves enumerating and identifying insoluble urine parts. It can be performed on wet preparation and air dry smear or both. Following the preparation of urine sedimentation, the slides can be observed under high power field or low power field. Now, cell estimation, RBC or erythrocyte estimation. In assessing gross hematuria, it is important to verify the presence of RBC by microscopy. In a healthy animal, up to 5 RBCs may be present per high power field. Lysis of RBC occurs when exposed to urine for longer duration. Lysis is accelerated either in diluted urine with urinary specific gravity less than 1.006 or in alkaline urine, resulting in positive occult blood measurement on dipstick analysis but with no obvious erythrocytes in the sedimentation. This outcome can be misdiagnosed as intravascular hemolytic hemoglobinuria. Now, WBC or leukocyte detection. In a healthy animal, 5 WBCs may be present per HPF. Urinary tract infection may be associated with pyuria with more than 5 WBC per HPF. WBCs lies in the urine and may decrease by 50% in an hour if the sample is kept at room temperature. Coming on to epithelial cells in urine, low epithelial cell count are found in the urine of healthy animal, especially catheterized samples that sluggish cells and substitute for new cells. It is difficult to distinguish epithelial cells based on the size in unstained wet mounts. Coming on to squamous epithelial cells, the skin, distal urethra, vaginal tract or the prepuce can be the source of squamous epithelial urine cell. Squamous urine cells are usually caused by sample contamination and are not significant clinically. Transitional epithelial cells in urine. The renal pelvis, ureter, bladder, and proximal urethra are linear with transitional epithelial cells. A small number of transitional cells are normally found in the urine. As the catheter passes through the normal cells, catheterized samples will have an increased number of transitional cells. The increased numbers are also noticeable in urinary tract infections and uroliths. Renal epithelial cells line the renal tubules of the kidney, and renal epithelial cells are rarely found and definitely identified in urine. They suggest renal tubular disease when present. Now, microorganisms in urine. Urine is sterile, and thus the presence of bacteria, yeast, and fungi in urine is never natural. Potentially infectious microorganisms can be found in urine, and it must be determined whether these organisms result from contamination or from active infection. For example, in sterile sample of cytosynthesis, bacteria suggest the bladder cystitis or the renal pyelonephritis should be considered as an iatrogenic source of infection. Now, presence of crystal in urine is a frequent finding, and it is not always considered a disease. Urine crystals other than struvite and calcium oxalate dihydride are highly indicative of underlying disease. Struvite occurs chiefly in basic urine. Cystine crystals predisposes to urolith due to its low solubility in acidic urine. Calcium oxalates monohydrate crystal create suspicious of ethylene glycol toxicity. Ammonium biurate or uric acid crystals are suggestive for underlying liver diseases but can be normal in Dalmatians and English bulldogs. Presence of cast in urine. Urinary cast like hyaline, cellular or cylindrical moles formed by the lumen or renal tubules in urine from a healthy animal. Less than 2 hyaline cast per low power film and more than 1 granular cast per low power film are observed. Increased number of urine cast, which is cylindyuria, localize a process of disease in the kidneys. Now, presence of lipid droplets. Lipid droplets are commonly found in feline urine samples. Spermatozoa. The presence of sperm does not have any clinical consequence when seen in urine sample from an intact male patient. High number may suggest retrograde ejaculation in catheters or in cytosynthesis. Coming on to automation of urine analysis. Urine sample analysis has typically been a tedious and time-consuming method. Over the past few decades, however, more quantitative urine-specific procedures in manual procedures have led to more automation and improved the professional perception of automated urine samples. However, laboratories still use manual testing methods with semi-automated strip reader as an adjunct to urine sample testing. Automatic and semi-automatic veterinary urine analyzer available in India are Vet Urine Analyzer from Diagnovision, Vet 101 from Techno Diagnostic, VetScan UA from Zoetis, and SediVue from IDEXX. The accuracy of veterinary urine analyzer is uncertain as the values of bilirubin and ketones obtained from an automatic urine analyzer may be reliable, but the pH result is not very accurate for clinical diagnostic purpose. Now, given here are the diagrams of the various automatic and semi-automatic veterinary urine analyzers available in India, like Vet Urine Analyzer on the left, top left, Vet 101 from the Techno Diagnostic company, then VetScan UV from Zoetis, and SediVue from IDEXX. Coming to conclusion, urine analysis is a safe screening test that can reveal a large amount of information regarding patient health. hence it should not be ignored. An automatic urine analyzer is already gaining popularity among veterinary field, which has made urine analysis quick and comfortable, but its finding to use for clinical diagnosis is uncertain. Urine analysis is highly reliable index for renal diseases when appropriately performed, and its findings are significantly used in the empirical treatment of renal condition. Methods of sample collection and handling display a critical role in interpretation of results and are described. Urine analysis may be crucial for early identification of several clinical conditions and can allow early intervention and a better recovery rate. Rapid and simple chemical strips are available for identification of various chemical components, but its results are not readily acceptable due to different artifacts. Therefore, it is essential to correlate the findings of the chemical strip with other reference laboratory methods and patients' clinical findings. This was the source of today's presentation. And with that, we conclude this presentation. Hope it was informative. Thank you.